This video is brought to you by ncix.com. Great technology, selection, and service.
This is better, but if only we had something more immersive.
Yeah, so that was my initial skeptical reaction based on the promotional material surrounding the KOR-FX Tactical Gaming Vest, as the concept itself sounds so awesome. You have these transducers inside the vest that accept an audio source, whether it's coming from a game, it is coming from a movie or music, and these transducers intensify the vibration based on the source audio. So the more audio layers, the more intense the audio source is inside the game, the more vibrations you would feel inside the vest. And that sounds very appealing for gamers because you get that extra immersion factor for whatever games that you play. But at $150, it is an expensive add-on to your gaming setup. This is one of those peripherals that should come last after you are totally happy with your mouse, your keyboard, and headphones, as I wouldn't consider this to be the core gaming peripheral per se. Now, the build quality is okay, nothing really stands out. There is some padding on the back of the vest and it's really lightweight, it's size adjustable. I would call it comfortable too, with plenty of room for your arms to maneuver. Design wise, it's a typical vest, resembles body armor in a way, with thicker portions at the front. The KOR-FX text is showcased at the front as well on these boxes that house all the electronics and the speakers, and similarly shaped battery compartments right above those. The Velcro portion in the front is designed to show an emblem of some sort, perhaps handy for gaming clans. And so the vest is wireless, that's a big plus for not needing to handle any cables, but it is powered by 4 AA batteries that are not included. I would expect for the price to have a ready-to-go product. The KOR-FX hub is pretty small, it is USB powered, but with a battery compartment available for 4 AA batteries if you want to use the vest on mobile devices on the go. There's a line in, and that's where you feed the KOR-FX with an audio source, whether from a game, from any movies that you're playing, or even music. So you can essentially connect this to anything that has a 3.5mm jack, and at the front there's the line out for speakers or headphones. The intensity of the line in is adjustable with this dial beside it, with small numbers on the wheel to indicate the intensity level, and the volume of line out is also adjustable. On the side is where you'll find on and off switch for the hub only, and the bind button to link the vest with the hub, and that goes solid green when the bind is complete. Overall, it's a pretty hassle-free configuration, although I will say the base is really light without any rubber bits to prevent it from sliding all over the place, and also the included cables are really short, thus limiting the location of the hub. Pressing the power button will turn on the vest with an audio cue. And you will need to bind the vest only once by holding the middle button until the LED goes solid green, and the rest of the buttons control your mode and amplitude with useful audio cues as well to let you know of the settings used. The mode key on the right side selects between 3 filters. The filter 1 selects your lower frequencies, filter 2 the mid-range frequencies, and filter 3 mid to high range, so it's slightly wider. Filter 2 is the most recommended one to use as the default one, and you basically have the flexibility to choose which of the portions of the waveform of the sound that is coming in will be detected and translated into vibrations by the transducers. And using the arrows on the left, you would adjust the amplitude of the transducers, basically another way of adjusting the intensity of the vibrations inside the vest. Now, so you may be wondering what it's like to wear the vest. How is it actually for gaming? Is it in any way immersive? Gives you a bit of extra immersion feeling. And as soon as I got the vest, I jumped into BF4 because based on the promotional material, based on other reviews, I wanted to feel the impacts of bullets or feeling the grenades going off beside me, only to realize that the KOR-FX does not favor audio heavy or sound heavy games, because in Battlefield 4, regardless if I was shooting at somebody, regardless if I was just standing still, there's always something going on in the environment. And regardless of the mode, I couldn't get the feeling of being inside the games and feeling only certain elements because the audio engine is so heavy, it's so busy, the transducers were constantly going off. And so it didn't really benefit me in any way trying to play that FPS title. However, I jumped into Half-Life 2 Lost Coast, and that was amazing. Just because the environment is a lot quieter, you still get a sense of being inside this atmosphere, and that's when it clicked. The KOR-FX is going to be an amazing addition for extra immersion for scary genres like Metro series, the Alien Isolation, or Interstellar Marines, where the low humming of the atmosphere of the background, it resonates through the vest, so you don't particularly feel the gunshots, but you feel the environment that you're in. Next, I jumped into Project Cars just to see if this extra vibration inside the vest would resonate into giving you more of a realistic feeling being inside a cockpit and actually driving something. And unfortunately to say, that wasn't the case, because the audio engine is great, it sounds amazing, but it's very busy. And because it's using a simple 3.5mm headphone jack to actually power to receive the source audio, it doesn't separate between each layer. So if there's speech, if there's gunshots, if there's a grenade going off next to you, if you're driving over certain different surfaces, it doesn't fully translate into giving you the same layered feeling. Even though you have different modes to select from, it's not as realistic as you would normally get with maybe digital audio and built-in driver and API to detect which of the layers they want to pass through the vest or to leave out for more immersive experience. And while I was driving inside Project Cars, the vest was constantly going off. It gave me a little bit extra feeling like I was inside a cockpit, but not as realistic, and so it felt more like a chest massage than being inside the game. Now, also the dual transducers are set up in stereo mode for left and right, and thus in theory should deliver directional assistance on where the audio is coming from. For example, if you get shot from the right side, the vibration on that side should be stronger than on the left, and you can react accordingly. However, the transducers are not spaced out enough and provide almost zero directional assistance. And now coming back to this whole idea of what games work with the KOR-FX and what don't, throughout my experience, Half-Life 2 is a must. If you own the KOR-FX, definitely go do a playthrough Half-Life 2, because the gravity gun, that vibration through the gravity gun translates so well into the vibrations of the actual vest. It's almost feel like you're holding the gravity gun. Interstellar Marines is awesome. It's still in its alpha stages, but the low humming environment, very creepy and dark environment, you feel like you're there because you can feel the humming of this environment that you are in. It's not about giving you the sense of bullet hits, because that's not really realistic, but it's about giving you a sense of atmosphere and the environment that you're in. So for creepy genres, this would be outstanding. The entire Metro series is great with the vest. Alien Isolation, I don't need to say anymore. It's a very creepy game, but man, it works really well with the KOR-FX. However, it is an expensive peripheral, and I would say it still feels like in a prototype stage rather than a finished product. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the concept of this haptic feedback, but it needs to be expanded even further with additional transducers on the side and maybe on the back too, just so that you can feel if there's something coming around you or coming on the sides to actually give you a sense of directionality. Second, because it's only using the 3.5mm headphone jack to receive the audio source, I think that's where the limitations lie within what games it works and what games it doesn't work. So for quiet environments it's perfect, but for loud environments you just constantly feel the vibration. So my proposal, if this is at all possible, is to have a digital pass-through, maybe connected via USB into a sound dongle of some sort. That way the game engine maybe could layer the different audios and the vest could detect that, and you can have different modes for FPS titles, maybe for driving simulators, for all different settings that you could select based on the layers of the game, not based on the entire waveform through the sound engine. And for right now, I would like for KOR-FX to provide some recommendations for what mode and which amplitude and which sensitivity setting works for certain titles, because right now it's completely based on user feedback and user experience. And so once you get the vest, it's a little bit of a hassle to try it out, see what works, what doesn't. It would be nice to know that Battlefield 4 works on this setting, certain other games that are most common too, that works on this setting. However, right now that's not available. I would also like for KOR-FX to fix out the whole battery issue, because it's only using 4 AA batteries that die really quickly. I got through about 2 days of light gaming, so maybe some built-in rechargeables that you can just plug in the USB somewhere on the vest that would charge the vest, because once you run out of charge on these 4 batteries, you kind of have to scramble for more batteries, and that is a hassle. And lastly, there is no auto shutdown on the vest. You have to manually always to remember to turn it off. As otherwise it does consume battery, and you come back to it later thinking that let's do some KOR-FX gaming, and the vest doesn't have any power. So that would be an indication, maybe an LED somewhere that is visible but not distracting, to indicate you should power off the vest, or even an auto shutdown would be nice. And overall, I think the KOR-FX is a step into the right direction for extra immersive gaming, but it needs at least another revision for this to become a common gaming accessory. The form factor is great, and the fact that it's wireless and comfortable, but it needs a larger selection of audio presets, better battery integration, and the extra transducers for proper directional immersion. But for hardcore gamers, does this interest you in any way? And for $150, do you see value in this sort of part-time accessory? As always, leave your comments down below. Make sure to subscribe for more gaming reviews like this. Give us a like if you found this review helpful, and we'll see you in the next one.